How long are we talking for?
10 minutes.
Okay.
Another day. Another impeachment.
Yeah.
What up, everybody? We're back. Impeachment number 2. Back to back. What do you want to call them? Back to back.
I've been calling it round 2.
Round 2.
I think it's
general?
I think it's gonna. Well, it's either round 2 or it's gonna be like the Rocky movies. It's gonna be like Trump 5.
Oh, shoot.
Like,
And then after the 5th one, everyone's like, no good anymore.
Not any good. So, because it's just been a constant roundabout with this whole like second round of impeachment, and I really you would think that since we have so many people who were in law and study law in our government, that they would actually be able to convict Donald Trump, who isn't the most legally gifted mind, especially
and he can afford him.
He can afford them, but having your whole legal team walk out 2 weeks before your trial in the Senate is not probably. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's just one of those things where, I think we have to just look at the facts of the case. Did Donald Trump incite a rebellion or insurrection or whatever they're riot or whatever they're calling this?
Yeah, apparently you can't prove it directly.
Apparently so. Well, I don't know. Mitch McConnell gave him kind of a scolding thing. Basically, Mitch McConnell said that Donald Trump was at fault. It's just for the sheer fact that he's not president anymore that he shouldn't be impeached.
Yeah, Mitch says a lot of things.
Well, it's Moscow Mitch.
From Kentucky.
Yeah. He's from the nice part of Kentucky.
What it comes down to, I think there are a few things. One, they're saying, hey, listen, people were already breaking into the Capitol while his speech was still going on. Mm-hmm. So this thing that they said he incited was already happening at another location while he was still talking. So that's the first thing. So we're saying, okay, well,
I think that was his word, was his lead up words.
Where do you say you're saying his whole presidency? What are you saying his lead up words?
At that rally was his.
But they weren't at the rally. That's what I'm saying. The people who started the whole thing weren't even at the rally.
Okay.
And then later, there were obviously more people went over there, and I'm sure more of them went in. But when you say, hey, we have to be strong. Hey, let's peacefully walk over and show the Congress people, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You can't directly correlate that to inciting insurrection. You can't say that he told us to break into the freaking Capitol and whatever. You just can't. Those words that he says, fight and be strong, those are used in politics all the time. And so it's like, what are you gonna do? Obviously, you can't. The impeachment's done. Moved on.
Yeah.
I think we're all sick of hearing it. Honestly, it's like.
Well, it was definitely a rating grab by many of the
Democrats love him.
Liberals and things like that.
They hate him, but they love him.
Because I think especially having heard about the ratings of mainstream media this month. They were
keep bringing him back. I'm telling you.
I honestly believe this what the whole purpose of the impeachment was, just to keep Donald Trump a boogeyman for liberals.
No, I don't think so. I think they're just trying to keep him from. They're trying to keep him from the presidency in 4 years. I think that's what the goal was.
I don't think so.
I think so.
I think it was to keep him because that was the weird thing too, because in the trial, they were gonna have witnesses, and then all of a sudden the Democrats just said, no, we're not gonna have witnesses. What other clear evidence could you have of people saying oh yeah, I heard the president say this, or I heard some surrogate.
We all saw it though. We all saw what he said, so we don't need to witness. Plus, if you bring witnesses in, that thing's gonna last for months. I think. Everybody brings witnesses from both sides. Maybe. It'll be a mess.
Maybe
we have recorded. We see what he's speaking on the stage. It's like.
Yeah, but they show video of what was going on in the Capitol, leadership running around with their security throughout the Capitol. So
was that?
Why did we? Well, we saw them break into breaking into the Capitol. Why we need to see senators and congressmen, running around with their security detail in the Capitol? We obviously knew that they were.
That's news. What do you mean?
News to who? Like, we know that they were shepherded away into shelter. Like, they weren't.
They're gonna listen. It's the media. They're gonna use any footage they have that looks appealing, appalling. Oh my gosh, are they running from something? What's going on there? Yeah. They're gonna use it. It doesn't matter if it's useful or not. But the point is, what's done is done, and the man might be untouchable. Who knows?
I think he's bulletproof. I think Donald Trump is bulletproof. He survived the Access Hollywood tape. And now he survived 2 rounds of impeachment.
It is truly wild that he became president in the first place. After that scandal, and you still become president?
Well, not even just that scandal. It literally happened like 2 weeks before the election.
Oh, it did?
People that were voting, because that happened I thought it was a long time ago. No, that happened right before, I believe, the second or third debate.
Well, no, I remember it came out, but when was it actually recorded?
It was recorded like. Oh, okay. It was like 15 years.
That's ago. Right. I thought you meant it was recorded 2 weeks before. I was like, what?
No, it broke. Okay. Like, cause we had never heard him say that. Hey, I'm so famous, I could just come up to him, like, they kiss me, I grab him. It's like.
Yeah, I don't think he bring that out to the forefront, Bryan.
I don't think so, but. I'm just saying the tape had been out there for years, because like obviously there's a tape of Donald Trump saying the N-word.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. But apparently it's out there, so.
You can say anything's out there until it's out there, Yeah,
well, it's until you hear it. But I think the whole thing about the impeachment is, it goes back to the same thing with the impeachment of Richard Nixon. Like, what did the president know and when did he know it? Because obviously, I think there are things that were impeachable after the fact. Like, if the fact that Mike Pence actually had to get the National Guard to come in and sort of disperse and dispel some of the rioters, that I think is kind of a capital offense if Donald Trump knew this was going on and chose not to do anything about it because he thought that it might help him in some way stall the election, like the results of the election.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. But.
So, like, there's rumor that Donald Trump took it, didn't call in the National Guard. It was actually Mike Pence that called in the National Guard to, secure
that's
the
just
Capitol.
Hearsay.
It's hearsay, but that's the thing though. If Mike Pence actually did that and they called him as a witness, I don't think Mike Pence would perjure himself and say that he didn't if he did.
But it's not like he's saying don't do something. Like, you'd have to be very specific with it because.
How specific would you have to be? You have to say, did Mike Pence call in the National Guard?
Who gives a damn if he calls in the Guard? What I'm saying.
Well, that's the responsibility of the president.
Why? Is it
he's
written somewhere?
It's in the Constitution
that he has to call in the National Guard in case somebody freaks out at a protest. No, listen.
Okay.
Listen, you'd have to prove that Trump. You'd have to prove that he told Pence to not call on anybody, or told them to stand out. No, we don't need to send anybody. No one call in the National Guard. You'd have to prove that, and then you'd have to prove. Okay, so then Mike Pence went against him and then called the National Guard. So that's one thing. But like I said, it's hearsay. We don't know how it went down, and so it's like, because I heard the exact opposite. I heard that Trump actually offered to bring in National Guard and they refused. So it's like, I hear all this stuff. Who freaking knows what the truth is?
Hey, go to the source. You gotta go to the source. Mike Pence. He's the man in the room. He knows.
Yeah. He gives me a weird vibe. Does it give you a weird vibe?
He does, but I think that's because he's super religious. I think either he's super religious or he's like fighting like the gay vibe.
You think so?
Well, yeah. It's just like, who in their right, like, who calls their wife mother? That is so weird. Especially
you can call her mamacita. You can call her.
Yeah, but that's that's
some
chica. Yeah, you can call
some Latina chicks will call you papi.
I understand. I understand that, but that's a different culture though. Okay. In the United States, most straight heterosexual white males do not call their wife mother.
I've never actually heard that he does that, but
he says he admitted to it. He says he's like, yeah, he called it. And the whole like
maybe it's say like in front of the kids.
Yeah,
hey, mama.
Yeah. Oh yeah, well yeah, I guess not to call her by her real name. Yeah, that would be one thing.
But anyways, so that's it, man. So we'll see if we see him again in 4 years. I think
we will.
I think, dude, he's gonna be too old, man. He's just gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna live out the rest of my life just actually enjoying myself. But maybe he's so like egotistical, and that he's just like, no, I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah. Well, I think he's such a narcissist that someone tells me he can't do it, he's gonna do it. It's just like Obama. When Obama called him out, he's like, "Oh yeah, there's one thing I'm gonna be that you're never gonna be, and that's president." He's like, "Oh yeah,
okay."
yeah." And now he is president. It's like, oh yeah, it's like, yeah, Obama's like, yeah, that backfired. Yeah. So yeah, it's a bunch of things. You still taping?
I guess we are, but
yeah.